On the show this week, we have Pankaj Munjal, MD, Hero Cycles Limited.
In India, there are 60 cycles for 1,000 households.
Right.
And Germany is 600, 10 times.
10 times.
So the richer countries, more environmental conscious, more developed, they are the ones using cycles.
In news, Stephen GALLACHER wins the Dubai Desert Classic. And Kevin Stadler wins the Phoenix Open, his first PGA Tour title.
So enjoying the flight of a good drive. Welcome to the show, Mr. Pankaj Munjal.
Pleasure. Yeah.
Good to have you on the show. So, talking about enjoying flights of a good drive, and speaking about going for a drive, cars and bikes are in your blood because your family founded Hero Motors, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how much do you enjoy cycling around Delhi? Because I've heard that that's your passion, to keep cycling around Delhi.
My passion is cycling. Around Delhi, we don't have a great place to be cycling around. So we've got in Delhi, small places we've tried to nurture.
Right.
But I enjoy cycling, great weather nowadays, and doing our best to build a culture.
Cycling culture, something conspicuously missing in this country. It used to be there years ago, but with the advent of cars now, cycling is almost like a passé in this country. And there's also a lot of stigma attached to it. How do you plan to bring the culture back of cycling in India?
You know, it's sad to hear this thing. In India, the penetration of cycles is so low as compared to countries like Germany. So to give you a perspective, in India, there are 60 cycles for 1,000 households.
Right.
And Germany is 600, 10 times.
10 times.
So the richer countries, more environmental conscious, more developed, they are the ones using cycles.
How ironical is that?
Even if we compare, now forget Germany for the time being, even if you compare China against our 60, they are 147.
Right.
Thailand, any other country you take. So India, somehow this sector really got neglected. Nobody's looked at it, but it is the core. It drives one, the Aam Aadmi, what you call, like a common man.
Absolutely.
And the other is this recreation cycling. That is the one that you and I are exposed to.
Absolutely.
Cycle which costs 15,000 bucks to 1 lakh rupees, 1.5 lakh rupees. Cycle which weigh 1 kilo frame. So you see the stick, the frame is as weight with this. So cycling really needs to be back again, and we're doing our little work.
You are popularly known as a cycle king of the country, isn't it? How do you react to a statement like that? Across media, you've been anointed as the cycle king per se.
No, we make large numbers. We are the world's largest. They're in number. As of now, it was mainly India-centric that we had the volumes, and we would call it growth. But come February, we'll have a very large German company with us. So even in Europe, we'll be the largest maker. So
are you planning to acquire a company in Germany?
Yeah, there is some very big deal that is happening, and we are now pretty advanced on that.
What is the idea behind the acquisition that you are making in February per se?
As I mentioned to you, we need technology. The technology there is very advanced.
Sure.
They make light cycle, they make engineered cycle, they make cycle with lots of gears, 26 gears, 36 gears. And they make frames out of aluminium, they make frames out of carbon. So cycles go high.
How much do you think?
A typical cycle over there can sell up to 6 lakh rupees, 9,000 euros.
Sure.
So look at the way things are going.
How much do you think this acquisition will add to your top line going forward?
It's not really a top line growth objective, it's to strengthen Hero Cycles back home.
Right.
So we make 21 cycles per person in India.
Sure.
And in Germany, they make 80 cycles per person there. So simply benchmark, if we look at them, the benefit it's going to give to us back home in India, that is tremendous. So Hero is going to be even a stronger player, even with deeper best practices on the shop floor.
Interesting. What are the kind of consumer trends that you are pointing out for the year 2014 in your sector?
Simple, as we are laser sharp focused on to move the masses. We are making a lot of advancements into the conventional. We have to move the rural guy.
Right.
And unlike Delhi, Bangalore, Pune, to some extent Bombay, they made very good car-free zones and all. So people are getting out and getting their health back.
Sure.
What is bicycling? It is bonding. Me and my son cycle. We
Right.
bond. We both of us sweat it out together. So such a great high that you get there. You're not trapped into a car. You're free with the world. So this culture has to come in. Has to come in. So in our company, once a week we all go on a cycle. The top 5 guys have started off.
So I hear. So I hear.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, you know, in this country, like, if manufacturers like you open a dialogue with the central government and try to make separate designated lanes where people can ride their bicycle, would that end up impacting this culture quite a bit or set the trend going forward? Have you tried opening a dialogue like that?
We've tried opening a dialogue. Nahi, we've done a lot. Everybody wants to do. I mean, you meet every system, they say yes, it is logical. There is no reason to say no.
Why is it not happening? But the fact of the matter is
the fact of the matter, it's not happening. It was not the priority. Now we have to do it. I mean, come what may, whichever prime minister we see, whichever government we see, they're all into it. Right. In fact, the Danish government, they make the most cycling friendly zones. Like they have a culvert and they have a cycling track. It's of different color.
Right.
Safety, you have those different colors, reflective colors and all. So the Danish government is now being invited to take one model city, and if you have a proof of concept over there, then it can flow. So that is another thing that I'm trying.
With India?
Yeah, with one city.
With one city. Which one would that be? Delhi?
So, yeah, we met the Delhi Chief Minister, UP, Akhilesh Yadav is very, proactive, bubbling with energy on these things.
And what is Arvind Kejriwal's take on it?
Arvind Kejriwal said that let's stabilize and then we'll talk about it. And,
I mean, it is the Aam Aadmi Party. It has to take care of the Aam Aadmi, isn't it?
But see the principle, they all need it. They all realize we need it. So let's put our heads together, find out a way.
Sure.
Otherwise, it's a lot of environment, decongestion, all these problems are going to be, we're going to be living with now.
Well, on that optimistic note, let's take a break right here on Tea Time. Mr. Munjal and I, Chaiti Narula, we will see you on the other side and we will remain in conversation with the Cycle King of the country. So welcome back and thank you for staying with us on Tea Time. We are in conversation with the Cycle King of this country, Mr. Pankaj Munjal. Pankaj, now is the cycle sales declining vis-a-vis the GDP growth in this nation?
Yeah, ratios have come down. The car is to bicycle ratio has come down.
Right.
And again, we met the finance minister and he said, oh, look, it's good. We are making good progress. But then we had an argument that the rich became richer.
Yeah.
They could afford more. But the other part of India, which I mentioned earlier, has not been, they've not got the money, they've not really moved up. So it's not that economy has moved up.
Right.
It's the top guys became richer and the gap between rich and poor widened. So surely something needs to, there is something wrong. In India, we make 15 million cycles. Proud to say Hero's about a 40% share of this.
Absolutely.
And we maintain this. And we are doing our best to work hard, introduce new products, new technologies and serve the customer better. But China makes 110 million. Doesn't it? We are a billion people each. We have whatever similar cultures and all. How can we be 15 million and capped? And they're 110 million, 10 times, 8 times.
Of course.
So everybody has looked at it. And I would say the story has started now. India is 22 city centric, where our GDP comes from 22 cities. So we are very inward centric thing. We don't go out. This culture has to change. This culture has to change from people like you to talk and people like us to promote, and it'll go.
What an interesting chat I'm having with you. I've almost forgotten to tee off. So let's just first tee off and we'll come back and discuss.
Sure.
So Mr. Munjal, now you're looking at business diversification. Is this on the back of sales declining?
No. We are focused. Come on, it's a $30 billion industry, and Hero is 5% of the world market today.
Right.
And clear cut, we have plans by 2018, we'll be making 10 million units and we'll be 7.5% of the world production. So we are focused here, but my son has joined me, so he's building a Ritz-Carlton hotel in Delhi.
Right.
And in Gurgaon actually. And so we are diversifying. We have a division which makes transmissions, where we make transmissions for BMW cars.
Absolutely, yes.
And bikes which go to Munich and Berlin. We are the largest disc drum knuckle. It's a joint venture there with Sumitomo. We have a division called ZF Hero, where we build chassis for GM.
Absolutely.
And we've been nominated now for BMW India, where we're going to assemble the chassis for them.
Sure.
So business is growing.
Absolutely.
We are having very healthy double-digit growth rates.
Munjal, you are into the transmissions business as well. You are supplying to BMW. You mentioned that earlier as well. I believe this is something you just chanced upon. You never planned to get into something like this.
Yeah.
What is the story behind it?
The story behind it that we used to make mopeds earlier, but the moped market vanished. It just vanished.
Yeah.
So we were pretty lost. Then Bombardier from Canada,
Yeah.
people who make those jets and all,
Absolutely.
they came, and one day that guy, Mr. Fullinger, Joseph Fullinger, he came and we sat down. He said, I need this transmission. So he said, can we do it? It's for such a high-tech thing, and all, can we do it? And I remember sitting in the factory till 1 o'clock at night. And we signed the contract there. We took all the responsibilities. And that has got us into such a sound footing onto transmissions that today, besides BMW, I can name Mercedes-Benz and ZF and other people, they're also looking at us. And I see a lot of business migrating from Germany into India for this. So we're pretty like a Germany of the East. If you see a transmission factory, they're all dust-free, air-conditioned. We have a honing machine there. I mean, if you take your hair and cut it into 1,000 pieces,
Right.
that's the size of tolerance required.
Oh,
there.
really?
Otherwise, there's a noise in the gearbox and life and all. So this is the level of all these competencies we have there.
So now let's talk a little about taxation now. Are taxes on a simple commodity like bicycle impacting the BPL sections of the society today?
Sure. Why should it be taxed? Why should it be taxed where on one side we are giving them 2 lakh crores of food and subsidies and all, and then we tax them for 500 crores or 1,000 crores?
Yes.
It's incorrect.
Absolutely.
Why is there so much transaction of money happening and all that?
That's the hypocrisy we're talking about.
2,32,000 crores has to be paid to them.
Isn't this a very hypocritical stance on the government's part?
Yeah. And unfortunately, they all agree. We went and met I told Mr. Badal that we are in Punjab, help us. We are going to, there's no decline. We want to grow and we're not hitting our growth targets and all. So we both went and we met the PM and we shared with him that this is happening. And like you mentioned earlier, the industry is under pressure.
Absolutely.
And all that. So the PM agreed. He wrote a letter there and then. Please recommend to the finance minister this must be done.
Right.
But
And then?
But question mark.
But it's India at the end
But
of the
it's
day.
India. It didn't work. The prime minister. So what? Bottom line, if you take, I'm sounding like how to tell you. External factors influencing this is not, but we don't look at those things. We work with the environment. Whatever the environment is, we work and align ourselves and get ready to work. But these are realities we are into. These are hard facts that we're into it. Then one more thing, if we make a bicycle in India, now we have a German plant, and from there we say, let's source from India, logically, technology, sure. If we export from India, there's a 14% duty. And if I put up a factory in Bangladesh and I export from them is 0. So sitting in the German chair, why should I buy from India? So lower end ke liye, there's no place to ride. That's getting capped.
Right.
Higher end ke liye, there's no export opportunity open. Let's do something.
This also in a way impacts employment to a very large extent in this country, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Can you throw some light on that as well?
It's huge. There are 1,000 parts into it, and 1,000. Just in Ludhiana alone, where a main bicycle plant is, about 5.3 lakhs people are employed onto bicycling and parts.
Well, talking about hurdles, it's time now for us to go and play our shot now.
Yeah, high
Because
time.
Our ball is into the bunker now. Come.
Okay.
wonderful shot. So on that note, it's a good time now for us to take a quick break right here on Tea Time. We are in conversation with the cycle king of the country, and we are going to be discussing about his business diversification and of course the relationship he shares with his brother back home as well. Take a break. We will see you on the other side. So welcome back and thank you for staying with us on Tea Time. Now let's talk about your business diversification. As you plan to diversify your business, how are you planning to avoid clashes with your uncle and cousins? You know, every business family, whether you like it or not, has some bit of friction going right there. What is the kind of relationship that you share?
If you observe our family, there's been very little friction.
Absolutely, no.
So you
I
can't generalize it at all. I have a lot of respect for my uncle.
Absolutely.
He's the founder and creator along with my father for the whole thing.
Absolutely.
So we discuss, we talk. If you talk, then you don't have problems.
I mean, we've seen the biggest conglomerates in this country
Yeah.
having some sort of family battles when everybody in the family is in the same business.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be difficult or, you know, it won't be right to say that there is no friction because everything always is not very hunky-dory. So how do you deal with family? How do you deal with working and being family at the same time?
But I would say it's life, no?
Absolutely,
You've got
absolutely.
friction with your son. I mean, there's a debate, whether you call it a friction or something like that. There's a debate. So we talk. In Munjal family, what I can share is the families talk. For a wedding, for a birthday, for Havan, for anything we meet. Maybe we meet 2 or 3 times a month.
Sure.
And we discuss. You know, if you, how to say, we've been brought up in a family where the youngster Hindu family, elder, you are elder and I will be
the younger one.
The younger one.
So the elder one really calls the shots always.
It's not calling the shot. I mean, if you support one other guy, then he also is humble enough to say, "Theek kar lenge."
Right.
So it's not senior, junior that way. It's respect, understanding, that's worked.
So have you been through any family rejects lately?
So 2010 May, the whole group was divided into 4 partners, my uncle, my father and 2 more families. And so there were 4 pieces made out, done very well.
Right.
We had a meeting where one brother was saying, "My dear brother, you take this, I don't deserve it." The other brother said, "No, you have to take this, I don't deserve it." This was the way. It took no time. With this kind of people, the lawyers and all were saying, "We've not seen a thing like this."
Absolutely.
But to come to today, it was all done amicably. We all sat. Some papers were exchanged in the drawers. These papers may be lying, but the family is the same. I go and meet my cousins. They come for whatever it is. We talk to them. There's no change. I mean, shareholding in one way, family, understanding, working culture in the other.
So work is not really transferred back home on the dining table at all.
Say that way. Yeah, surely.
Work is for the boardrooms and family time is family time. What next for you in terms of Hero Cycles and Hero Motors? What is the next big thing we're going to witness?
Lots is happening. We are leaders in our segments in whatever we are.
Right.
So as I mentioned to you, in bicycles, we are world leaders.
Right.
In transmissions, we've got leadership qualities with the best iconic brands that we have. In Munjal Kiryu, which is the Sumitomo joint venture, we are number 1.
Right.
Ritz-Carlton, as it is, will be a iconic property over here in Delhi. And ZF Hero, as I mentioned, they're all leaders. So we will continue to burn fuel to make the flag go higher.
Did you recently play with Tiger Woods?
No, I didn't. I could not play, but I practiced with him.
You practiced with him? How did that feel? Where were you? How did you practice with him?
I was on a high. It was a surprise.
How did it really happen? How did it pan out?
How did it pan out? The city group chief executive had invited few people. So he sent us a good first class ticket to come to Florida. So then we all went up to the bar and said, "Hello, how are you?" So it took him some time to open up. But then once you do open up, and then we went to the driving range to drive, and he gave me some tips.
How is it learning from the guru himself?
His tip was great, but a little bit improvement here.
What was that one tip that he gave you that helped your game?
Head down. Hear the ball go into the hole, and don't look at the ball.
Don't look at the ball.
Don't look at the ball.
Then where do you really look?
No. Look at the hole, putt it, but keep looking at the ball and just hear it drop. So don't get up and look at the ball. Keep your head down.
Keep your head down, is it?
Keep your head down.
Interesting. So now let's talk a little about corporate golf tournaments. What have you played in the past that really you've looked back on and enjoyed?
You know, you enjoy great weather, good friends, good food. They give you good gifts. Anyway, that's something. But no, I get because you have cars and also Mercedes, BMW, they invite you and you meet good friends, you meet your old friends.
Great place to playground for networking for businessmen like you, these tournaments?
I really don't mix around that much, I would say. The 4-ball that I have, we enjoy.
Yeah.
And of course, you meet the same people. Then you meet the same people again and again. I mean, we met them last tournament and you meet them this tournament.
Well, you seem to be a very jovial guy. What's your life mantra?
Life mantra?
Yes.
Live the now.
Live the?
Live the now.
Live the now. Is that what your life mantra is? And do you follow it? You are imparting this to your children as well?
I try to.
All right. On that note, let's finish our game. Come.
Thank you. Good?
All right.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
You're a pro.
Thank
I'm
you.
so impressed to see you again.
Thank you so much for
Keep it
joining
up.
me on Tea Time. It was wonderful interacting with you. Life is all about following through. One lesson that I will take back home, and so will the viewers as well. On that note, thanks again for joining me on Tea
Pleasure.
Time.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank
So
you, everybody.
that's a wrap. That's a wrap from Mr. Munjal and me, Chaiti Narula, on Tea Time. I will see you next week again with another interesting guest from a different sector altogether. Until then, enjoy the flight of a good drive.